So the pictures we have here were taken by your mother on this old folding camera.
Yeah.
She was interested in photography.
Yeah. She did. She developed a lot of them herself, but no, but they were all in brown and white, not black and white. The black and white were done. She'd send away, but there was a lot of brown and white. But I don't know what happened to them.
So she developed them herself at Louisville?
No, not at Louisville. At Comenia. She started at Comenia and Rochdale, developed them.
Well, the what she's taken there are very historic now, because...
But they... I don't know how long she worked for Kodak.
She learned her trade there?
Yeah. She was about 16 when she came to Brisbane and into the Morrows. Her father knew Morrows from Southport, and he got her the job and she boarded somewhere, and then she got the job in Kodak and stayed there for years. And then the last year she was in Brisbane, she left and she went to the infants' home for a year. I don't know why. But that wasn't a suitable marriage, her leaving the city life to go into the country. Oh dear. Yeah, that's Louisville.
So she would have lived in one of those houses?
No, she lived on the opposite side of the river, halfway up the range, what my mum was. But they weren't very, very nice, they weren't very comfortable. They were just put up and that was all.
So the houses that you see in those photos, those were...
They were mill hands.
The mill people.
Mill hands. The Woolaghies had to find their own accommodation. And that's Biwa, that's Billy Simpson's pub where Mum stayed after she had married, and Pop drove his teams for him.
That was before he went to Louisville?
He went from there to Winora. He went down to Rathdown, he bought the team, and he pulled timber at Winora for only a few months, and he went up to, while he was waiting to get to Louisville. I think that's why they didn't go to Louisville straight away. He worked at Winora while they were waiting for Elsie to be born.
So what period are we talking about here, that they were at Louisville?
Edie and I were born when he was there.
So that's 1920?
He went up in 1920,
right.
And he left in 1925, 26. He left Louisville.
To go where?
To go to Comenia. Well, he woke up that the bullocks were going out and trucks were coming in. So he bought a truck and he started a transport business in Comenia, pulling produce for the farmers and going down to Brisbane and coming back with stuff. And that's his old Ford truck at Comenia. That's him and Henry sitting in it. And then they sold it and got that Chev then, and that's Henry. And see the dog on the little bonnet? That dog rode there for miles. And that's our T-model Ford.
She must have been a keen photographer to do her own developing too.
She used to take a terrible lot of pictures for the people outside, for their kids, and then she took. She didn't charge, but they'd supply the film and that, and she'd take it. And she didn't buy. She didn't develop them for them. They used to send them to a chemist to develop. I remember the one she took for. Well, the ones where those kids are standing beside that log.
Yeah.
She took those, and Easter came, and he came up on a horse with a big packet of great big Easter eggs, 4 of us.
Yeah. What light and cooking did you have?
Kerosene. But Mum used to like doing her cooking in a camp oven. You've seen a camp oven, haven't you? Yeah. She liked doing the cooking in that.
Well, describe what was her camp oven look like?
Huh?
What did hers look like?
Oh, look, I forget it. I know it was round, and she used to put a top on it and then cover it over with coals. Yeah, just
So it was dug a hole in the ground?
Had the hole
what, outside?
Huh? Outside,
in the backyard or what?
Yeah.
So you dig a hole and put it in. Yeah. And that's how you cook what? The bread or what?
The bread, the meat, everything. Stew and that all in a quick oven. All the vegetables. But Mum had, she still had it, I remember it. She never used it, but she had this container to keep the butter and stuff in, and that stood in a tin of water. And then she'd change that water every few hours. That kept the butter and that from melting.
So how hot would it get there?
Huh?
How hot would it get there in Louisville?
Oh, it used to get around over the 100 in the summer, and in the winter it got down to freezing. Everything would freeze in the winter. Yeah. Then she'd have to put out get the water in the morning into the kettle and then put it on the stove to melt. And to boil, she'd have to boil the water from ice to make the tea, a cup of tea of a morning, and make the porridge. And the same in Comenia. It was a hard life, I'll tell you, my life though.